So we're talking about the Gilmores Keep episodes of our fantasy role-playing adventure, which I was told that I can't say what we're actually playing because that could be copyrighted or some bullshit. I don't know, but I was told not to say it because also we're changing a lot of the rules. It's not full-on, fifth edition of what that game is. But we're talking about Gilmore's Keep Part 1, 2, and 3. And I figured we'd just do this in case there's, anything that needs to be addressed. So in, regular episodes, leave comments and questions and stuff. And then if, questions don't get answered by the time a character dies, like Anu, we can try to answer those questions. And that's what this is for. But anyways, what did you guys think of the first 3 episodes? I know it's been a while since we've done them. I don't know if you guys listened to them, but since I've been editing, I've listened. I know Casey listens because he checks for my editing fuck-ups. But I really thought those ones were really good. It's just, man, when I was editing, there was a lot of pauses because we did not know how to play the fucking game. Yeah. And then lots of talking over each other. It's now doing our things every week and then listening to the stuff that we did a long time ago, it's fuck, man. We are just arguing over each other nonstop. In the old ones, it's we have come a long way.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny, in one of the episodes, I don't know which one it was, but I remember we were all in the Sloppy Sisters, and my mic was muted, and I was talking, but I thought you guys were just ignoring me, and I was sitting there talking, and it was funny, because I don't know what made the event happen, I don't remember, but I remember Joseph yelling, I guess it was Edgar.
Yeah.
He was yelling, he yelled slop tops. He's like, slop tops! But my mic was muted, but I yelled the same thing at the same time. But it wasn't like it was planned or anything. We just were both going to yell it. And then that's why I was like, I can't believe my fucking mic was muted this whole fucking time.
Yeah. Dude, that was, again, I think that, did Edgar or Joe Edgar come up with slop tops, or was that Matt with playing Daigle?
I think I did, but I don't really remember.
I think it was Joe.
I have a feeling that I kind of attribute a lot of things said to Daigle because he never shuts the fuck up. Yeah. Daigle talks all the time, which with my first character is supposed to be a gruff outlaw or whatever, and it's okay, so just be annoyed by it all the time. This always happens, and then just thinking that just based off the character, and now later on it's well, yes, it is happening all the time.
Every ill situation that Daigle has put himself in is because he doesn't shut the fuck up.
But it is entertaining, not getting into later episodes, but there's some...
Oh yeah, dude, he cracks me up. The funniest thing...
I love that character. I love how Matt plays him. It's just I like that our characters are starting to be oh, here he goes again. In game.
I like when he first changed his voice when he was talking in his Irish accent. And then he's he grabs whoever he was talking to. He's like, listen here, motherfucker. And then you just hear Nate in the background. He's like, did he just change his accent? He's like, yes, I do that from time to time. He's like, when I get angry. I'm like, what the fuck? It's so funny, though.
Isn't it episode 3 that episode 4. Actually.
I don't remember what he was doing. I don't know who he was trying to intimidate.
Episode 4 will be out on this Sunday, so don't say too much about that one.
No, I was just going to say he doesn't use that Irish accent at all in that episode.
Dude,
he does. I just got done editing it. What it is when we're just talking.
Yeah.
When we're just talking and it's not the character talking, he just talks normal, so. I do that too because with my next character, which they've heard a little bit of him, very nervous character and doesn't like new people, so I did it with a very nervous kind of doing a bad Bobcat Goldthwait impression because I suck at voices. But that's what I was doing for that character, with the new one, which you guys will get to hear more of. But being, as you guys know right now, Biff the Butcher, but because I wrote a new backstory with our Dungeon Master telling me things about what I should know about my new character after doing roles, which I hadn't done in this episode. So, renamed him John, but you guys will see that.
Joe, have you listened to any of these?
I haven't listened to any of them.
You should go listen to it, especially the one part where Matthew, after the guards let him go, but he's still locked up, and he's like, unlock me, but he's like, hey, give me the keys, unlock me, or whatever.
Dude,
he's like, don't leave me here, or whatever. It was super funny.
For those that are listening are probably thinking, damn, fucking Anu and Anu and Dago are really loud this episode. Me and Matt were absolutely shit faced. We started our podcast at like 3:00 that day, and we've been up since 11 that morning, drinking after playing tennis. Like, dude, when we started that one, we were absolutely fucking shit faced. And like when I was editing, I cut some of this out. I kept asking Nate the same question over and over again. I could tell he's getting frustrated. Yeah.
He was getting so annoyed. It was super funny.
Like that one was episode 3 was my worst one for sure. I mean, I died, but it was my worst one just because I was absolutely shit faced from the start. Like, I do drink during these, but I do not drink that much. I mean, there's one episode that's coming up where me and Matt are on shrooms, but that's fine.
What episode was that?
I think it's gonna be episode 6, or no, possibly episode 5.
It would be like our 4th actual podcast, like session, but like.
Well, Gilmores Keep 1 and 2 was a 1 5-hour session that I cut in half, and then Gilmore's. Yeah. So yeah, it's the numbering is off in our own notes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So it's going to be episode 5.
It would be session 4, but it's episode 5.
Yeah.
But
yeah, what was your favorite moment in 1, 2, or 3, if you can remember?
I'm gonna be, be a narcissist here. No, I'm just playing. But when I distracted the dude by taking a shit, and then he gave me something to wipe my ass with, and I put it in his pocket.
That is my favorite moment in episode 1.
Yeah, that shit's still hella funny.
I've told people about that. It was like someone just took a shit in the middle of a crowd to do a distraction. I was like, yeah, it was
a
great.
Beer shit. We all had one loaded in the chamber. We were drinking all day.
Yeah. Fuck my first character was so overpowered, man. Like I don't think I rolled lower than a fucking 10 on anything. It was all at 10 and above. Like most of my shit was 14 and higher. Like I had fucking 15 strength, 16 dex, fucking like 12 charisma, and like my only low one was constitution. That was 11. Like a new Freeman was fucking too powerful, because I also had a +2 to stealth and all sorts of shit.
And with that power, he had his big dick that he was dragging along with him, and that led to his demise.
Yeah. Saving fucking Edgar.
Yeah, it's actually Edgar's fault why you're dead.
Yeah.
Because he's a little pussy.
Hey, it's not my fault. But I do keep his memory alive. All right.
You do. Like you keep bringing it up, and I like to fuck with you sometimes as my new character. And you're like, "This is for a new." I was like, "Who's that?"
And we had to start.
Yeah, but it's fun.
I like when the town was on fire, and
I like every fire that we start.
And then Nate was like, "This is probably the last time you can do anything in town before it burns down to the ground. What do you guys want to do?" And then Matt was about to be like, "I want to go back to the festival." And Nate's like, "No, you can't go back to the festival."
Yeah, like I said, in that episode 3, me and Matt were absolutely shit-faced. Like, dude, it's not...
Matt's honestly my favorite character.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, he fucking cracks me up all the time. Especially when I go back listening to it.
Your character is like really growing on me. And then like with Edgar seeming like he's wanting to do sexual escapades, I fucking laugh my ass off. That all comes later.
Yeah,
So that's being very vague.
I did, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I did back out of it towards the end there, but I just thought it was funny because Nate legit says with that, which is whole funny. It's like, I never said there was gonna be an orgy. It's just the assumptions that we do so many times where Nate like constantly says it's like, I never said this or that. Like we just assume things and we roll off of it, and it's hilarious that we just make these big assumptions to things because it's just like, where are you guys getting this shit from?
So how far into the game are we like talking? I don't remember where episode.
Only the first three.
What? Just Anu just died, and then you guys got to Anu's place. That's where.
Okay.
It's at.
So
like anything after. Anything after.
What I brought up was the episode.
At the moment, you guys are at Anu's camp, and that's it. The next episode opens there.
That's what I just needed to make sure I didn't talk past that.
Yeah, what I just brought up was what happened the next episode, and actually Nate said that the episode after this one.
Yeah, you're talking about episode 5. Yeah.
Yeah, and but Nate said this going into episode 6, where he's just like, by the way, I never said there was an orgy. I don't know if he said it on there or in the group chat.
Yeah,
but it's just hilarious because
I think it was our pre-game talk that we do.
Okay, I just laughed because I was like, oh shit, he never did say that, but it was just how flamboyant one of the characters seemed.
Yeah,
not even just flamboyant. He just seemed very like loose and
so.
When Nate told me that the keep was on fire, I was like, "Oh my fucking construction I've been doing."
What was your favorite episode part from the first 3? Casey, is it the slop tops part? Because you brought that up earlier.
Oh no, that would have been fucking amazing though, because it would have just been perfect. Because it would have been like a whole like everybody's all fucked up and drunk. I don't know. My favorite part has. Let's see. Oh, when fucking okay, so it was just right after Anu dies. Matthew turns around and he has his letter opener that he's just gonna and fucking go attack this beast. That's like the middle. I think he was at the middle of killing a child.
No, he had just killed someone, and Matt caught the dude's fucking helmet. The head fell out, but I thought, like, when I first saw it, I thought the head flew in. Matt fucking grabbed the head like a fly ball. No, the dude hit the guy and did hit his head off, but the helmet went flying, and Matt caught it like a fucking little kid at a baseball game.
I forgot about that. And then he was going to throw it to Anu when he was running.
Yeah, and, like, me and you actually talked about, like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
He's carrying Edgar. I was going to catch it.
No, that was hilarious because you rolled against. He rolled to try to muscle you, and then you rolled like, well, I'm just gonna I'm gonna pull him back anyways, and you rolled hella high on your strength and just fucking tugged him forward.
Oh man, he went and attacked this thing. Oh, I thought we were dead.
You saved his life right there. Is what happened.
Like,
you saved. I was
like,
life.
we're all done for. This is it.
Anu died, like, he slowed him down so you guys could get away. And just by being caught, he's just like, it's going to take, like, I don't know, a couple seconds to smash this dude's skull in, and you guys got away.
Got the old Glenn.
I'm surprised we found this part without some... I don't want to spoil that.
Yeah. But I'd say my favorite part, other than Joe's thing with the shitting, because I laughed my ass off there, was probably when... me and Matt got into a tussle with those people who tried to take the silver. And then, like, Matt passed out, and I fucking knocked a guy out, and the other guy went running. But Matt's on the ground, and so I tried to carry him, and then, like, something happened. I don't know whether the guards are coming or I couldn't carry him, and I just pushed him into a bush. And just hit him in the bush. And so I remember Nate saying, he's like, so you're just going to leave him in the bush? I said, yeah. He goes, okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, Nate said he does like the decisions we make.
I get so afraid with these character deaths that I'm legit like I'm legit pre-prepping characters because it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, it's like you. So me losing a character, it's like it's hard. You make the character before you know the full backstory because we rolled for roles for multiple characters, but we didn't roll for anything else for each character because I think Nate changes a little bit so that characters aren't super far behind. At least that's what he did for a newer something. Like I got a +2 to something just because the rest of the characters had gotten pluses to stuff.
yeah, because if you start from ground zero with the
especially with like how hard the world is in this. Is what he said. He's like, he's not giving you a lot to go with, but he's giving you just a little bit extra, so you don't have. I think he said you're only losing a certain amount of levels when you change to a new character. Your character still comes up with.
Dude, I'm afraid to give him ideas of other characters in case he might like them more and murk my characters.
But like, for instance, when I made Biff the Butcher, it's like, okay, Biff the Butcher was just alliteration. I was like, I expected him to be, just a butcher, a peasant. Didn't really think it through that much. And then I rolled after he died, like that next week or something. I was talking to our DM, and he was having me roll for fucking, how much. Like, even though I had all my numbers, make me roll for backstory stuff. Like whether I was born in nobility or poor stuff, and like I happened to roll decent for wealth, and so it's like, okay, well, I'm not a fucking poor butcher anymore, so that's not working. And then I rolled other stuff towards like, and we talked about my backstory a bit, gave me the idea from the last name, and so I was like, well, I'm gonna go with like a name since it's somewhat like royalty. I'm gonna go with a name that has that like a fucking king or pope had. So I was just going through king and pope names until I settled on John.
So the first name you read?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I just looked up pope and like
Pope John. There it is.
I always liked the name Edgar, and then like I used to read more poems when I was like younger, and now my brain is kind of But like Edgar Allan Poe, and I was thinking of these dark times, and then I chose like Nolan because like Nolan Void, nil, nothing.
Yeah.
So I just figured it matched, and it's like, oh, I gotta be a stable boy. Doesn't mean I gotta be like a naive fucking whatever stable boy. I can be one that's so young that's already fucking feels like the future is bleak. And it's like I don't know what to do with the character and more.
Yeah, I don't even know what the name of my next character is. It just says like rat catcher.
Oh yeah,
like I didn't write down Biff either, so it's like I forgot that I chose the name when we played the next game. Also,
with the Biff thing. No, it's cool that you chose something else. Anyways, it's your character.
Yeah, like I forgot I had named the character.
Biff the Butcher rolled off the tongue. I just assumed you didn't like the name, and I felt bad because I thought it was like pressured in or something. And it's like it's your character.
I forgot I named the character, and
I mean, like, you can always address it in later episodes and just be oh yeah, Biff was the name. Oh yeah, Biff was just a nickname that you used so people didn't know who you actually were or something. I don't know.
I could say that. Fuck.
We've met. Well, not yet, but
I just put a disclaimer at the beginning of episode 4, being like, yeah, name change. That's all.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because it's like, it is like, I learned more about the character, and it's like, I don't think Biff fits the character anymore.
Biff sounds more like an imbecile name anyways.
Yeah, it sounds like a commoner name. So I was like, I'm going with a tried and true.
Yeah, that's the only reason I said that was name. Like, yeah.
I almost went with Henry, to be honest. It was almost Henry.
Would have been cool too. I was just gonna say though, like, for the excuse that Biff was the name you chose when you wanted to live a commoner's life, because it's so
that was part of it.
Yeah, it's so unextraordinary that it's like, oh, Biff is really John Gilmore, and it's just like, oh,
John Gilmore, he's a cunt.
John presenting Biff the Butcher, aka or most commonly known across the nobles as John Gilmore.
Yeah.
And then you just come in. I don't know why you're going to say that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm looking at fucking I'm in this conversation, but I'm also looking at role playing classes
Oh yeah.
for stuff.
So one of the reasons we kind of wanted to do this, which I'm about to get into now, is one of our friends and fans of this who's like giving us feedback and really liked a news character. Uh, hit us up after we released episode 3. He's like, "What the fuck? Anu died? What the hell, man?" And he's like, "What was going on with him?" And like, you know, he was excited in his backstory, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't think people would care that much, so I didn't say anything." But what happened with Anu was in his old town, which I forgot the name, unfortunately. I had it written down, but I threw away all my Anu stuff to make room in my notebook. So what in Anu's
tore that chapter of my life away.
Yeah, Anu's old town that he used to live in. He had actually was like mid robbery, like because he was a bit of an outlaw, but not majorly, and he was wrongfully accused of murder during it. He was just like at a robbery, with people robbing it. So like if people have seen The Stand, like kind of like that situation where shit goes south, and he was like, "Oh my god, wasn't even fucking supposed to be here," that kind of thing. And so he's wanted in that town and the surrounding area. So he ends up going back to his birth home, being Gilmore's Keep, and living on the outskirts of it because he's wrongfully accused of murder. And then like the story that I was hoping to go with before Anu died was to hopefully get a chance to go back to whatever town that was. Like I said, I forgot, unfortunately, and try to clear my name once Anu had been built up and find the people responsible for everything going south, and like trying to do that with that character. I wish I had like we did this. I don't know how much, like,
you know what,
probably a month or two ago.
You should bring this up
because we banked a couple episodes before we started releasing it because I wanted to. I knew I was leaving for a little bit, so I was like editing ahead of time. I was like, just wait, so I don't get behind.
You know, you should
I was going on vacation, so
you should bring it up to Nate actually, to have one of the places that we go to, maybe because okay.
Oh yeah, he has the information written down somewhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I hope we do go to that town. Which, if that's the case, then there will probably be something that has wanted posters for Anu. I'd imagine because Nate has great attention to detail. So,
and if we run across the wanted posters, and then that ends up as a thing, but something for us to clear his story so people knew that background.
Yeah, that's the thing is like I'm glad that I kind of forgot it because my character's not supposed to know it anyways. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Anu shared that. You should bring it up.
You should send Nate a message and
see if he can work. I know stuff that's supposed. I don't know how it's being brought up, but I know that it's probably going to be brought up at some point. Something to do with my new character that you guys don't know about yet, and I'm waiting for it. And like I have to check my message every single time to remember names and places, because he's like, if this comes up, address it. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah. Because fucking Anu had a complex backstory, too.
Casey
like, John, like...
No,
he's stoned out of his mind. He looks fucking high as a kite right now.
Oh, I am. I am higher than a giraffe's pussy right now, let me tell you, boys.
No, but, like... I don't know why I come up with fucking complicated ass backgrounds, but Nate fucking I give him stuff and then he's like, "Oh, what about this?" I was like, "Okay, cool." So I was like, with the first characters, like it's like outlaw. I was like, "Oh, that's cool." He's like, "Why are you an outlaw?" I was like, "I'll get back to you on that." And I wrote this whole thing, wrongfully accused, and sent it to him. He's like, "Oh, dope." And then he came up with a little part to it also, where it's like, you shouldn't just be wrongfully accused of a crime. You should have been like slightly part of the crime that someone died in, but it's not your fault they died, something like that. And it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, it would be a cool quest line to clear your name even though you're dead.
Yeah, because like we had already done the something. Like we had rolled and stuff like that and like gotten into our characters, and like I had kind of already chose my alignment as a little shady and secretive. And so he's like, he didn't want my character to have a full good background. He wanted it to have a little bit of like, well, you weren't the best. You were a thief, but you're not a murderer.
You're not an innocent soul.
Yeah.
And the complete aspects.
But yeah, that was what that was for. And I wish I remember more details, but I don't. I don't know. I'm really enjoying this. Like, for those that have watched the first 3 episodes and are enjoying it, it gets so much better just because we learn how to play the game and shut our fucking mouths and not talk over each other.
We're definitely learning not to fucking scream over each other, which has been a problem.
We're doing that
all of our podcasts.
Yeah, we're getting better in both.
Yeah.
Like, for those that have bared with us through this, good job, because we're probably really annoying.
Dude, all my fucking I keep saying for some reason. It drives me crazy because I was listening to the Cobain episode and I heard it. I kept going, I was like, oh my god, shut the fuck up.
You guys got any more to add on the first 3 episodes of our Menenvard?
No, other than, again, I feel like I gotta apologize for this every fucking episode. The inconsistencies of my character in the first episode.
Well, no, that's just this is the first episode.
I don't know if it's a large portion.
And what it was like, you when we wrote our characters, you wrote that your aunt was dead, and then he's like, no, you should have her alive at first, right?
Well, what happened was, I think he said something about, so some time has passed and you're at the bar. So in my head, I took it that she died within that time passing.
Oh,
but
okay.
he had a whole story thing built for it. And I didn't know, or he probably said something prior. But again,
like, it's not scripted. Our characters aren't scripted, but that part was, since it was it was actually part of your backstory at first. And it got moved into the game.
Yeah, and I should have known that, but that first episode, I drank because, again, like, I don't, like, on this podcast, I usually get like super drunk, whereas I start drinking when we do the Bedenvards. I usually start drinking as the podcast starts, and I sip more. Like, I'll catch a light buzz, and I just let the light buzz roll. Whereas in this, I'll just slam down beers. Usually, not today.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I drink more during the fucking.
Well, I'm usually like chewing on my nails. Not this last one because when I focus on shit and sit, same thing when I'm watching TV, which is how entertaining that these are to me. Like, it's just like fucking, you're sitting there focusing on a story. I'm just sitting there chewing. This podcast, but then the one before this one, I was chewing on a fucking mechanical pencil glass thing. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Oh, and I haven't edited that one yet, but I can't wait to just cut all that out.
I mean, in our video. I mean, in our video chat, I was sitting there like just had like that in my mouth the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this kind of looks like what like Jules look like a little bit. Like,
yeah, well, it's like during the podcast, like with both of them, we usually like for their fantasy podcast, like we start at like 3, and so I can start getting hungry because I don't cook myself dinner that day, so like I'll have chips and snacks, and I'll start eating
work and then I fucking run.
during the pod. And it's like I have to move my my microphone away, and one of them, when I know I was drunk, it was at the end of the Cobain one, I believe. I can hear myself in the very last 5 minutes eating chips, and I was like cutting it out, but like I got asked a question, and I was like, huh? Because I put the mic back and like while I was still chewing.
I get off work and then I head straight to the shower and then fucking everything because, but it's like I deal with so many fucking people that it's like I'm just brain dead at the end of the day because it's like talking to people nonstop. I don't like people. Like, I like people, but I don't like people. I don't like dealing with the public.
Yeah.
Really. I like hanging out with people, whatever.
I'm a shy person.
Yeah, my brain's usually on fucking repeat, and then like the second half of the day when I get off lunch, it's just I'm just in fucking shutdown mode. So it's like I'm constantly having to tell people it's like I am not here right now, but it's like an everyday thing, and my brain just races off to shit. Especially when it's the podcast day. It's like, dude, I can't wait to get fucking home and whatever. Like when we were picking the class shit and all that, I was so fucking juiced. That's why I was in the group. I'm like, I'm sorry. It's like, because Nate was apologizing, saying he probably worded it weird. And it's like, no, dude, you did.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm. It's like I'm dealing with unimportant shit. Customers talking to me while I'm trying to write.
I'm usually excited for the podcast, but like last fantasy podcast that we did, I did not want to do it. I didn't want to get on. I was tired, and I just kind of wanted to just fucking watch TV and fucking just do nothing.
Yeah, the last one we did, I was kind of burned out.
And then when we got into it, it was like, oh damn, this one's good. I think because
I just kept trying to rush.
It was a little slower pace.
I was trying to rush to the pivotal point that we actually, even though none of this is scripted, we were fully aware of what was coming next. Yeah. And I was waiting for that. And we kind of got, as we do, we kind of fucking get in our own little things. And I was just trying to hurry up and get to that because I was hoping, even though that was kind of more towards an ending point, our montage. Like, we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming.
Yeah.
But it was like we also had to remember that we had to build to get to it. But I was just trying to hurry up and get to it. Like, I just wanted it to hurry up and happen.
That's how I was, too.
Yeah, but we had to remember all the other stuff. And then we kept doing our little bickering as a group.
Like, more episodes to get there. That's how it felt like. It's like, well, fuck. But yeah. Anything to add on the first 3 episodes, or you think we covered them pretty good?
I think we're pretty good.
So what do you guys say after every 3? Do one of these, or I chose to do it after this one because it was like the last Gilmores Keep one. In that entire segment, the last thing of the festival, pretty much. And the death of a new, so it was like, oh, this is a good place to throw one in. Which, like, this was spur of the moment. I wish Matt could have been here.
Yeah, that would have been dope.
Because he really, really loves the D&D pod.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add on about the first 3 episodes, Joseph?
No, I think I'm good. I'm gonna have to, hop off.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to clean up and shit. I hope you guys enjoyed this after show. I'm going to try to do it every 3 episodes or so. But if we reach a point where it seems like the end of a chapter, might be more or less episodes, so we'll tackle that. We'll just pretty much when it seems like there's an end of a chapter, we're going to do these, but,